Well, hello and good afternoon. Welcome to Empowerment Essentials. I'm your host, Dr. Lacey, and we're just going to wait for a few more people to get on today. I'm so excited to be live today. And I just want to say to everybody, Happy New Year. This is our first broadcast of the year. So I'm just gonna ask you as you come in to say hello. Let us know. Hello, Teresa. Welcome to Empowerment Essentials. Thank you so much for joining. I just want to say to everybody, Happy New Year. We are so glad to be here, so glad to be seen, as they say, for such a time as this. I'm going to ask you all to do me a favor and share the broadcast. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start sharing it out myself, because I'm telling you, this show today is going to be powerful. It's going to be impactful. It's going to be full of information. And if you don't need this information yourself, I guarantee you know somebody that knows somebody that will need to hear the information. Hi, Ergie. Thank you so much for joining on this afternoon. So good to see you today on the live broadcast. I'm excited. We're just going to give them a few more. Hey, Mark, how are you? Oh, wow. Some of my friends are coming on here. We got an impactful show. Look, if you guys would just do me a favor and share this broadcast, because we want people to be able to hear this information. This woman is backed by popular demand. I'm telling you guys, it's by popular demand. Folks was asking me, when are you going to have her back on? The information that she shared really blessed me. And so I asked her, and she said, of course, that she would come back on. She's just such a humble and a sweet spirit. And so I'm excited about having her on. I'm just going to share this out to a couple of more people, and just thank you guys so much for joining. I'm not going to hold you all afternoon, but I just want to make sure that we click, tag, and share the broadcast. And listen, Empowerment Essentials is on one Saturday a month right now, but we're looking to be going live more often. I'm telling you, we're going to take this thing to the next level. And I'm going to be going live at least once a week. So thank you all for joining today. The broadcast, I'm telling you, this is going to be some phenomenal information. For those of you that will be watching the replay, listen, at the end of this show, it's going to be information on how you can contact this woman of God and how you can contact me if you need more information about this compelling subject. So without any further delay, because I want her to have plenty of time. Yes, absolutely, Ergie. And she said, in a future podcast, Ergie hooked me up with some information to upload these shows into a podcast. So you'll be hearing these shows very soon. So I am really excited about that. Thank you so much for that information, Ergie. That was such a blessing for me. So I'm going to introduce my guest on today, because I want her to have plenty of time. Okay. Her name is Sandra E. Stansel. She's an accomplished entrepreneur. She's a best-selling author, Amazon best-selling author, and an international speaker who has started 6 successful businesses, all on a skinny budget. Now that's a different show. She's a survivor, most of all. She's a survivor of narcissistic abuse. Miss Stansel is writing her latest book on the subject. That book will be out soon. Let me see. And she coaches others seeking awareness and release from this type of bondage. With a diversified background, which includes trade show development, medical compliance, and marketing and sales, Sandra has coached thousands in these and many other areas as well. She is consistently rated high as having the patience and know-how to get you on track to start your business idea without worrying about finding the money. How many know you need to have multiple streams of income right now? Okay, this woman can help you do that. Additionally, Ms. Stansel has served on boards of directors and advisor 4 times in her career span, served as a leader in business and community organization, as well as started 2 professional associations. So I'm really, really glad to have her on the program today. Again, I'm asking those of you that are on, we're broadcasting on 3 platforms. We're on this page, we're on my business page, and we're also on YouTube Live. So share the broadcast wherever you might be viewing from. You're going to be blessed by this information. And right now, I'm going to bring to the stage my special guest today, Miss Sandra E. Stansel. Sandra, welcome to Empowerment Essentials. Why don't you just go ahead and greet the audience?
Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be here again, for part two. Thank you again, Dr. Lacey, and for all of you who have especially requested for us to come back here. I'm just excited to be here and to help release people from this ordeal that they have had to deal with. So
Yes,
I'm so excited.
absolutely. And Sandra, having experienced the title of our show today is Freed from 24 Years in a Narcissistic Relationship. Why don't you, just as a way of introduction, you're an expert on the subject of narcissism, and you kind of learned just by what you experienced in your life, and then delving into the subject. For those that didn't watch the last broadcast, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself and about overcoming that abuse, first of all?
Sure, actually. So I was dating a gentleman, and as the title says, it ended up being a 24-year relationship. Of the 24 years, it was 18 years of it was married. So I actually ended up marrying him. And I had no idea what I was enduring, but I was a person that I never wanted to experience divorce. And so I was married and I wanted to um, just live my entire life and have this long term marriage and be happy with children and enjoying family and friends. And things started to turn. And so it turned for the worse and for me. And so I had I had a friend that brought it to my attention, actually. She said to me, Sandra, I think what you are experiencing, your husband has the same condition that I have. And she described it as self absorbed. And I had no idea. I've heard it before, but I didn't pay attention to it. And with that, and I can share a little bit more about it later. But in that, when she told me about being self absorbed, I said, let me look that up. And so I did. I looked it up and I kept seeing this word narcissism. And so I decided to pause, go back, look it up, see what narcissism was. And I had no idea, Dr. Lacey, that I was actually involved with a narcissist. I was shocked. And so I still continue in that marriage. Probably, let's see, I think I continued another 4 years. And
Yes.
yeah, and so yeah, in that 4 years, it was really confirming. And eventually I realized that I had to accept that no, I can't continue with this.
Wow. So, for those that don't know really what a narcissist is, we've heard the term before, but to really delve into it so that people can understand what the character traits of a narcissist are. So, what are some of the characteristics of a narcissist?
So narcissism actually is and a narcissist is a person that has acquired this personality disorder. They were either harmed by someone or harmed some way, or they were devastated in their persona, in their personality. And some people know them as having been spoiled. They were children that were spoiled and they grew up in their adult life,
Yes.
um, always expecting things to be done for them. And when the world was not giving in and spoiling them, as they had
Right.
experienced as a child, they would just they would do all kinds of things to seek that kind of attention. And so, but they have a grandiose impression about themselves, and they tend to want everyone to do everything for them. They tend to take credit from credit from people who are not, things that other people have done is what I'm trying to say, and they
Yeah.
try to take credit for that. Um, it's they do all kinds of destructive mental games. They play mind games with you. It's a really sad experience for them. But what it is they have this impression of themselves that is really below low. And so what they need to
Wow.
do, yes, they need to, in order to elevate themselves, they have to find someone or seek someone, tear them down, in order to bring themselves up. So they're basically, their foot is on top of that person's success, head, whatever it is, in order to make them feel in any sense of value.
Wow, that is so compelling. So you talked a little bit about talking to a friend, and she said that your husband was displaying the same characteristics that she had of being like overly self-absorbed. So
Yes.
that was probably your discovery point. You went from there, and talk about how you really begin to dig down and understand that you were in a relationship with a narcissist.
Oh yes, I can tell you that. Very good question. So what happened is when she told me that, like I said, and I'll continue with the research. It happened one night. It actually started in the afternoon, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was on the computer and I decided to look up self-absorbed, found these words, and Dr. Lacey, I went all the way through the night.
Wow.
Um, Overnight, I searched, and it wasn't until 10:45 something in the morning, the next morning, I was still at the computer and still looking and searching, and found all of this information, this research. I grabbed all of the articles, put them into a document. I had no idea, just a side note, had no idea that you can, I used Notepad at the time, that you can get to a point where you couldn't add any more to Notepad.
Wow.
And it did happen. So I opened up my word processor and I just copied and pasted all there, and I continued to search. But what
Yeah.
she described these ways, and she said she recognized them about him. And what I was surprised is that she described herself as self-absorbed. He was self-absorbed, but there was a self-assessment test that I took in that research.
Yes.
And usually when you take these self-assessment tests, they tell you that you are usually, it's probably like about 5 or 6 questions that may be applied, but the rest of them don't. Well,
Yes.
in this one, it was reversed. All of them applied except for maybe about three.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I had to accept. I was in denial, but I had to accept the fact that I was actually dealing with a narcissist. And this was not a normal personality. Because if I can add, we have been married, I believe we have been married at that time, about 10 years. And usually by the at least the third year, definitely by the fifth year, you own a car. You own a house. Yeah, of course you own a car. You own two cars, at least one for each of you, maybe an extra one. You have
Sure.
a house. You have at least one baby, or
Yeah.
a pet, a fish, something. We had none of those.
So
10
after all of those years, no house
No
ownership.
house. Always renting. And actually, it was me that was really incurring or earning all of the income. And
Wow.
so, yeah, I was really carrying him, or carrying us. I won't say carrying him, carrying us. Yes, no house, no vacations. Um, and actually, so I was working I was working a business. So I was
Yeah.
operating a business. I also took on a job. Um, I would take on part-time jobs or teaching opportunities, anything that would continue to bring in income,
Sure.
because it was, yeah, because I was really carrying the load.
Wow, that is something.
Mm.
So discuss for a few minutes what the victim of narcissistic abuse might experience. Like, what are some of the signs where somebody that's watching this, you would say,
Mhm.
some of the signs of abuse?
Yes, I can tell you that. So, on a lot of times they would the narcissist will build them up, and they build them up to tear them down. And so they will experience something that's called gaslighting. And gaslighting is when they um uh the victim will turn off the lights, or put a dish up, or they would take their purse and put their purse or their item in another area, and the narcissist will come around and say, and turn the light on and say, turn off the lights, or they will move to put the dish back where the victim, the person who's experienced this, had. And then the narcissist would say something like, you didn't move that, or you need to pay a little bit more attention to what you're doing, is causing the victim to question themselves and eventually thinking that they are crazy. That, yes.
So being with the narcissist, it's really a form of psychological abuse
It
to
is.
make you think that you're losing your mind, when in fact it's all part of the manipulation and the control to basically dismantle you and dismantle your personality.
Exactly. They're tearing you down, they're degrading you. They do all of these things, they discard you. They also, it causes their victims, and I experience all of these, to lose yourself, and
Wow.
and to lose your self-value. You question your ability. The victim also questions their knowledge, and their entire value system is shattered. It's also embarrassing because you have all of these friends and business professionals or work colleagues, and even your family, that
Mhm.
sees you as support, and then all of a sudden you can't seem to remember where you put an item. You question yourself. I see one person is saying, that is so true. Yes, this is
Yes.
very true.
Yes, yes. And so they you use the term gaslighting.
Mhm.
So what they'll do is I had it written down here, in my notes. When they're gaslighting, they will do something and then deny that it ever happened,
Yes,
or maybe lose the car keys and then accuse you of losing the car keys.
exactly.
They will be cheating, having intimate relationships with other people, and then accuse you of doing it.
Yes, that's true.
Um,
All of that
and
is true. They
yes,
do
and
what mhm.
go ahead.
Okay, they tell you, we both are excited about this subject
Yes,
because we really want to save people from this. We want to make
yes,
them aware, but they will tell you, excuse me, they will tell you these things, all kinds of things, trying to keep you from from just really thinking, no, knowing the truth about yourself. And it is, they and that's true. I just saw that they shift the blame, they put it all on you. And the truth is, what they're really trying to say, they're really telling you what they are doing. What
yes.
they accuse you of doing is what they're actually doing to you, the victim,
And we
unfortunately.
want to be clear right here that we are not just talking about men. Even though she was
Yes,
freed from a narcissistic relationship with a husband, women can also be narcissists.
yes,
I was watching a program the other day where this woman said that her mother was a narcissist and the children could never do anything right.
never.
The children were literally just, you kids are ruining my life.
Yes.
Her mother was a narcissist. So this is not just men, but this personality disorder is also in women. In church, we call it the Jezebel.
Hmm.
Jezebel spirit, very controlling, very manipulative. We know Jezebel in the Bible, she was a narcissist.
Hmm.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so let me just add, my mother also was a narcissist. I had
Wow.
no idea until yes, I started studying this, that I realized that I was raised by a narcissist.
Wow.
And it caused me to be codependent and not really paying attention. But once I started studying this, I started recognizing not only my mother, there were other people in my lives, there were other relatives that were also narcissists, both men and women. And so, yes, what I have learned about the women is that they meet a man, they build him up, they use the same characteristics, build him up.
Wait a minute, you got to slow down here. Now, we got to talk about this because we got a lot of women on this live today that's going to
Okay,
be viewing this. A narcissistic woman, Sandra, will look for a man that she can control.
exactly.
And if she can't control that man, she don't want him.
She don't want him. She uses her tears. She uses she uses okay, so
He uses sex.
I try to keep it clean. She uses something that they need, that men need. And it's true. She uses intimacy and she uses sex. Is the big thing that what I have learned. I've talked to and I have coached men who have experienced uh, narcissistic abuse from a woman, and she primarily uses sex to get what she wants. Tears him down, destroys his ego, causes him to lose his or eliminate contact with his friends. Yes, I think I saw a gentleman that said it was so true. Also,
Yes.
yeah, so that's what I've learned. And so it's, they take their money, hide their money, they stash things. It's just all kinds of things that they do. Again, what they do is they're instilling trust in their victim, the man or the woman. They're instilling trust, getting you to bring your guard down, getting you to trust them. And then once you do that and they know that they have gotten your trust, the next thing they do is that they start to take away, pull away from what your needs. They study the victim.
Yes.
The ex. Okay, so I don't call him my husband or ex-husband. I refer to him as the ex. So for everyone here on the broadcast, if you see this, when I say the ex, I'm really referring to the ex-husband that was in my life. So he did all of those things. He would build me up. He would buy me gifts. He bought me stuffed animals, flowers, candy, all types of things just to woo me and cause and want me to trust him. And when I did, what he did is he studied me.
He studied you.
He studied me. And while I was studying him as a narcissist, I remember a time when we were in a fast food, uh, famous popular chicken place. I won't give the name. So they need to pay for the rights here. And he actually said, I'm going to tell you what my wife is going to do. She's going to go through all of these, look at the board and see everything, and she's going to choose this vegetable. And sure enough, that's exactly what I did. And then the cashier said, how did you know that she was going to do that? And then I questioned, because he's whispered this to the cashier. And I said to the cashier, you knew that? And then I turned around and said to him, how did you know that? And he said, you say it all the time. But the truth is, he had been studying me and he knew exactly what I was looking for. I'm telling you, they pay attention to your moves. They pay attention to your actions, what you say, what you don't say. They study, like I said, they study your habits.
Yes.
And then what they do is they use your habits against you.
Wow. In what way, Sandra?
So they another example I can give you is they will go around your family or go around your friends and tell them that you are forgetful. They'll take what truths have been happening and turn it around to make it look like you are falling apart in
Wow.
your family's eyes or in your friends' eyes or even coworkers. They'll, send flowers and they'll have people think, oh, you have such a great boyfriend. You have such a wonderful husband. Or your girlfriend is really a really nice person. And it cause your friends, the people you trust, the people in your circles, to turn around and try to and scold you or correct you and tell you you should appreciate this person a little bit more. I was told by church members that I don't love my husband enough. Or I was
Wow.
told by church members that you really should be grateful because you have a really good husband. And they
Wow.
had no idea that I was in carrying the load or the mental anguish that I was experiencing.
Wow, that is a lot. And really it leads me into my next question.
Uh-huh.
We've talked a lot about this. what type of red flags? I mean, we need to know as women out here, men out here, what type of red flags should individuals look for to prevent getting into the wrong relationship with
Yes.
that type of individual?
So first, yes, first and foremost, one of the things I want to tell you is that um you do not want to get into a relationship with them at all. If you have an idea or you want to avoid them as much as possible. They will they'll be looking for you because they know that they know that you are recovering from either something mental, something emotional, a loss of a parent or a pet or some family member. You may have come out of surgery or injured or have injured yourself.
Yes.
You could be working in a volunteer position or something like that, something that has broken you down, taxed you, that you have used all of your energy. And what they do is they start to charm you, to show your charisma, and they show off their loads of money. The narcissist, when I was dating him, had a wad. This is a man hand size, no, okay,
Wow.
wad of $100 bills in his hands, coming out of the bank. It could have easily been deposited, but yes, they want to show you their bank accounts. They want to show you their home, their status, their church status, or their volunteer status. They want to be the center of attention. And so these are some of the things, the red flags for you to pay attention. They're
Yes.
showing you off. They're like I mentioned earlier about buying gifts and things, jewelry and flowers. They want to impress you with their knowledge, and the places and things that they believe, because they've studied you, that you
Yes.
don't know anything about. They're showcasing, basically.
Wow.
And then what they're doing is they're using and showcasing weapons to impress you. They're applying guilt. Then they're sparking your sympathy. They're sparking your and they also insinuate to try to make things look good, basically using reverse psychology.
Wow. Yeah, I remember talking to someone after our
Mhm.
first show that said, she had like an aha moment as she was listening to the show and
Mhm.
realized that she had been married to a narcissist. She said, he would never apologize for anything, but he would always buy her gifts.
Yeah,
So whenever he did something, he would buy gifts instead of apologize, but he would never apologize for anything that he did wrong.
I experienced that too. Excuse me, that
Yeah.
is so true. Never apologize. Would do something outright blatant, knew that was wrong, and would say things like, I don't have anything to apologize for. If it was worth apologizing, I would apologize. He would say something like that. And
Yeah.
yes, exactly. So it's so much of building up in order to tear their victims down.
Wow. So, Sandra, I wanted to ask this question because, some of us out here are single in these streets and we
Yes.
want to be aware of, this type of personality. We talked a little bit about how narcissists sometimes will groom their next victim.
Mhm.
So, he may be married, may have a wonderful wife, or she may have a wonderful husband, but they will tell that person, this person never does anything right. She
Yeah.
can't cook, she don't keep the kids clean. She don't keep the house clean. All of that. Talk about some of the grooming tactics that a narcissist may use.
That's exactly what they do. You're exactly right. And I share with you one of the things they'll also talk about, they'll compliment your hair or your job or your car. Um, there's they'll say all of these things that are opposite. They'll say what you have and the things that you do. They giving you their praise is really excessive. They're basically flattering you.
Yeah,
Um, they're trying to secure your trust, because what their intentions is to control you. They want to use that to manipulate you. They know exactly what they're doing. There's something that is called trauma bond, which is, it causes a person to become so attached to the narcissist that they feel like they can't function without that person, or they can't live, or they don't even want to live. And so,
Wow.
yes, and so they do these things. They'll compliment you about how pretty you are, or your job is, you're so smart, you're intelligent, and they compare you with the girlfriend or the boyfriend and say they were not like that, building
Right.
you up again, attempting to get your trust. And when you are completely have fallen in love with them, which is the love bombing, it, what they do is they know, once they know that their hooks are really in you, and you will either fight to the death, or you will fight your best friend, um if they said something negative about, or adverse about, the narcissist. What they will do is, when they know you have gotten to that point, because they're testing you, they're observing you,
Yes.
that's when they start to turn the things around. But yes,
So let
that's.
me say this.
Mhm.
You can get to the point in a narcissistic relationship where literally you're protecting that person. You
Yes.
don't want anybody to say anything bad about them. You make excuses for their behavior, and everybody can see what's going on but you.
Yes.
That trauma bonding, that's an interesting term. Is that almost like we're there? Talk about trauma bonding a little bit, because sometimes people cling to their abusers.
Yes. Yes, they do. So trauma bond it's when, again, they have caused you, the victim, to be, you think the world of them. You believe that everything evolves around them. You trust their words. You trust what they say is true, because everything that they have said has been true. You also, as a victim, you feel like you cannot eat without them. You cannot sleep without them. You can't work without them. That they have all this knowledge, because a lot of narcissists are in high places. When I say high places, the Bible talks about high places. That means they're in um, high positions. They're either like attorneys, or politicians, or either doctors, or they are CEO of a company, and but they're in these big type positions, and you think, oh my gosh, this is the best thing that ever happened. I will never have an opportunity to have someone like this in my life. And you feel like so what you're doing is you are taking and enduring the abuse. You're enduring the mistreatment. And so you feel like the narcissist causes you, and the victim, because I experienced this too, to
Yes.
feel like there is no other way. They become your God, unfortunately.
Wow.
Wow. And
And
they're,
they literally want to be worshiped. I mean, we've
yeah.
seen these narcissistic personalities in high places.
Hmm.
We've seen them in corporate. I've been working over 30 years in corporate America. I've seen that personality. We've seen that personality in entertainment. We've seen that personality in politics. And they literally want the worship.
Yes.
They want to be worshiped.
That's
And
true.
they want dominion and control. Wow.
But in addition to you worshiping them, they do want that. They also want you torn down, because what makes them feel powerful, what makes them feel a successful, is that you, successful one, accomplished one, doctor so and so, high person, you yourself, who is a successful and accomplished, have been put underneath their feet.
Wow.
And so, yeah, that's all a part of it. And because they know that they have done that to you, they pat themselves on the back. They feel good about it. Now they have value in their disorder
Right.
mind.
And so you would think that, especially in a marital situation, a wife would want to see her husband win. A
Yes,
husband would want to see his wife win. But if you're married to a narcissist, they will try to do everything that they can to sabotage your success.
that's
If
true.
you're successful when you meet them, they're going to do everything they can to sabotage that success.
That's true. That is very
Yes.
true.
So, what advice would you give for the person that is struggling today and they see no way out?
That's an excellent question, Dr. Lacey. Let me tell you. So, the first thing I want to say to them, to that person, is there is a way out. I want everyone to know that first.
Say
There,
that again. Say
yes,
that again.
there is a way out. And if everyone on the call, if you would do this for everyone so they can see it, go ahead and type in the comments, there is a way out. They need to know that they can get out of this. I got out of this, and there are many other people that have gotten out of this. The other thing too is, and let me know if you want me to say it again. I'll say it again one more time. There is a way out. If you want to put is in all caps, if you want to put a way or the word out in all caps, you can do that. But there is a way out. I
Yes.
want the victims to accept that they are not crazy, because the narcissist will make them think they're crazy. The narcissist will never tell you you're crazy. In some cases they do, because I was told
Mhm.
that too. But they will cause you to say yourself, I'm crazy. I'm not, oh my gosh. There, but yes. So, and that they will also say, and yes, there is a way out. Y'all are doing
Yes.
great, wonderful. Uh,
Yes.
I want them to also know, the victims to know, that is not all of your fault. This was a setup. They set you up. They saw you. They saw an innocence about you, a goodness and a greatness about you, and they chose. They chose. Um, they chose you. They intentionally selected you. They coerced you. They manipulated you. They pounced on your innocence. They took your power and twisted around to demean it. It was used for them in order to elevate themselves. I want you to also, the victim, this is something I want them to do, start to look for support. Look for people who actually have survived a narcissist or narcissistic abuse. These are the people only that can help you. There are counselors, and people have, and I, in my search, I have studied, and they have said that narcissists can fool professionals. Well, professionals are the psychologists and the psychiatrists as well. And and the other thing too, Dr. Lacey, is I want everybody to know, watch programs like this, like Empowerment
Yes.
Essentials. Please watch programs like this. Come back and look at this over and over again. um, their social media posts and series on this. Their articles. You can take a self-assessment test. I'll be happy to provide the same self-assessment test that I took. I give
Yes.
to my clients also. But these are some of the things that they can do. But the first thing is to know that there is a way out of this. You do not have to live like this. And pay attention to my sign here. You can choose to be happy. Choose to be happy again. If you've never been happy, you can be happy now, but choose to be happy. So that's what I want everyone to know, who's experiencing this. And you know what? You may not be experiencing this, but you may know someone else who is experiencing this kind of abuse or this type of a treatment.
You know what, Sandra? I love what you said. Choose to be happy. You have a choice. You don't have to stay in a situation or in a relationship, any type of relationship, business relationship, intimate relationship. You don't
That's
have to stay in a relationship where you're experiencing this type of abuse. There is a way out. We have a question
Mhm.
from the audience that we wanted to address, and the question is: it says, Sandra, what about pastors and leaders in high positions? Have you seen this type of behavior in them?
Absolutely. Yes, I have. Many pastors, as well as many leaders, and their ministry leaders, and they don't have to be pastors. They can be ministers that also have this personality disorder. They manipulate and they use their congregations, their wife. I was about to say wives, but they use their, and they actually. But side note, they've been known to marry while they were also married as well. which of course we know is a crime here in this country. But but
Wow.
yes, they are pastors, and they're also leaders that are narcissists as well. And many of them, they have, outside of their positions in ministry, they also um, have these high positions in their jobs. They're engineers, they uh, some of them are psychologists themselves or psychiatrists themselves. I have known, and I've been told by many, and I have run into and experienced some who, pastors or ministers who were narcissists.
Wow.
Mhm.
And Beatty said, "Hi, Beatty. I know her from school." She says they
Yes,
want you to bow down to them.
yes, that's
They
true.
they will sabotage your success. They also want praise from others for their destructive behavior, and they will cause you crazy.
Yes,
Wow. In an attempt to use their position to justify
ex-
why you should be placed under them. That's a mouthful, and that is all true,
that is
true, true,
true.
true, true. Wow.
I
That
experienced
is
that too.
awesome.
I experienced that in my foundational church as well, where there was a one person I discovered, actually more than one person. There was a narcissist I discovered that was a leader, and used their position in order to try to tear me down. And
Wow. That is something. I have another statement here. She says, I know someone that Pam was saying, I know someone that this information will be beneficial for. How do I approach that person?
that's a really good question.
That is
So
an excellent question.
yeah, it is. So if you know this person really well, you can tell them that you can say to them, I was watching this program live, and I got a link to it. I want to share it with you. I think this could help you. If you don't know this person really well, you can just share the link with them. You can you can message them, or you can send it to them. Just send the link to them, and they'll be able to watch and say, just this is interest. This is an interesting topic, or this is something interesting. Let's talk about it. I want you to see this, and I want to talk about it.
We have another question from the audience from Nasha. She said, what about the narcissist that's raising children?
Yes.
What can be some of the situations that may happen?
A lot of times the parents, because I experienced this, I was a child of a narcissist, will uh, they'll cause the child, they build up other people and use the child um, as a weapon. So let me give you an example. um, my mother always treated people much better than myself, and
Wow.
she would use them as yes, as an example, in attempt to try to make me, supposedly making me feel good, but it was always making me feel bad. They will make the child feel guilty, make the child feel responsible for them. At the age of, I think it was 11 or 12 years old, right around that time, you start babysitting for the neighbors.
Yes.
um, and my neighbor, I was so afraid I was going to get in trouble, because my neighbor called my mother to ask me, why is it that a 11-year-old want to buy you a refrigerator freezer? And so, yes, and I wanted to get so much dollars, hundreds of dollars, to be able to buy a refrigerator freezer. They make their children um, their parent, and yeah, it's really unfortunate. And so the child has to grow up really fast, uh,
Mm-hmm.
trying to please. Every child wants to please their parents, whether it's a mother or a father. They're never good enough. The children try to get praise, or try to get, just want the parents to be proud of them, and the parent will
Yes.
never say, I'm proud of you.
Wow.
Hmm.
Well, they'll never get the praise. The child will never get the praise that a parent, the
Yeah.
natural affection, the
Yes.
natural love that a child should be able to expect from a parent. You won't get that from a narcissistic
Right.
parent.
And I can share one other experience, and that's true. It just reminds me of what you just said and what I said. I had appeared for the first time in a magazine, and I was one of four that was had a full spread in the magazine.
Yes.
I bought the magazine to my mother, and just to share it with her. And what she did, that magazine, she took the magazine and just set it down, started talking about another subject. No acknowledgement, not
Wow.
not recognizing you or acknowledging you. Others did, but who I wanted it from was my mother, because I was one of those that always wanted her to be proud of me, because I never got that from her.
Yes. Wow, that is something. So Sandra, I'm telling you, this subject is just loaded, it's compelling. We
Yeah,
have so many comments, and thank you everybody for your engagement
yeah,
in this topic and in this subject. It's really real. I was looking at statistic today, and I believe I said it was 158 million people.
yes.
Over 158 million people have suffered or are suffering in narcissistic abuse. So it's really, really real. And I thank God for allowing us this platform to be able to bring awareness, because this type of abuse is psychological. It can be physical as well. It can develop into that, but it's
Yeah.
really a psychological abuse. So as we get ready to close today, how can victims find help? Let's talk about that.
So yeah, that's a good question too. So there is a hotline that they can go to. Is the national um, hotline for narcissistic abuse, and it's real simple. On the website, they have a website. It is the hotline, excuse me, thehotline.org. And there's a toll free number as well, and I can just give it to everyone. And they have a TDY as well, and I'll give that to you. The toll free number, and let me just see if I can just go ahead. I'm going to share this with you. You can, because I'm reading it off, but I just want to place this in here, and then
Okay.
everyone can see this. If they can see it, then that'll be fine. Um, but um, the toll free number is 1-800-799-SAFE. 1-800-799-SAFE. And that safe is 7233. So I'll say it again, 1-800-799-7233. Or you can go on the web and go to the hotline, THEHOTT. I'm sorry, let me start over. THEHOTLING.org. The hotline. TDY is 1-800-787-3224. Um, there also is, and for anyone who's interested in the self-assessment test, I'll go ahead and also place that inside here as well. They can
Please.
take a self-assessment test. I'll be happy for them. The self-assessment test is at no charge, um, and it is free. And I'm happy to also meet anyone if they want to talk with anyone about their experience with narcissism. I can go ahead and just give that share that with you as well. But that self-assessment test is the same self-assessment test that I took, and you can also take that same self-assessment test. My clients have taken it and they realize that, oh my goodness, I'm experiencing this and I have experienced this. So
Wow.
yes. So let me see what else I wanted to share. Now I'm happy to talk with anyone, but the hotline is a good resource. What I want everybody to know is you need to talk with people who have experienced this.
Yes.
Other people who've not experienced it, they have no idea what this is like. Someone who has recovered it, they will know your pain. They know your story. Excuse me. And of course, I have some resources that I have posted on my social pages as well. So you're welcome to also visit my social pages. I can I can probably share that as well.
Wow. So they can go on this link and take the self-assessment test, and this test will show them if if they're possibly in a relationship, a narcissistic relationship, or if
Mhm.
they have those traits. Will it show them if they're possibly narcissist?
Yes, yes.
All
So
right.
that test that I took, if I can share this, that test I took, I think it had 30, 25 or 30 questions on it. And just below, it gives you a rating. So you'll know whether the person has some is either borderline, or they have troubling traits, or the chances are really slim that that person is narcissistic. Now,
Wow.
just to share with you, I'm very, very happily married.
Yes, we have to let the people know that Sandra is not. Sandra, how long have you been married now?
So we've been married for 3 years now. We've been married for 3 years. We've been together for coming up in March. We've been together 7 years. And so, but I want to share this with you. I didn't just come in here, just come in here not sure. I did test my husband. I tested him as a boyfriend. He is
Did
not.
you guys hear that? She
He is.
didn't do it again without testing him to
I.
make
He is.
sure that he did not have. So you guys copy down that self assessment information. But she's happily married now, have been happily married for 3 years. So there is hope, there is healing. You don't have to
Yeah.
write women off. You don't have to write men off. Come on. God has somebody that's whole and healed for
Yeah.
healthy for you. Now,
Yeah.
Sandra, we can't leave without answering this one more question.
Okay.
This is First Lady Teresa Bell. Thank you
Okay.
so much for being on the live. She says, how do you approach marriage counseling with one being a narcissist? Will the narcissist even show up for marriage counseling?
Oh, that's a good question. I had an experience with that because I did have marriage counseling. And I also had a psychologist, a psychiatrist actually, and unfortunately the narcissist fooled that psychiatrist. The psychiatrist wanted to treat me and give me drugs,
Oh,
um, or shall I say medication.
yeah.
I refused, just for you all to know, because I knew that I was not and did not have the problem, but kept insisting. And in fact, she insisted that she just wrote a prescription and gave it to me anyway, insisted it just in case I want to feel it, which never happened. But a person, what you could do is you could seek out, or you can tell the person that uh, that's married to the narcissist that I think that we should or we need to get help or seek help. And but outside of seeing a psychiatrist, we also had seen a licensed professional counselor who was also a minister in our church, and even that minister could not um, identify that
Wow.
he was narcissistic or had those. I thought it was borderline. I thought it was borderline personality. I'm not borderline personality. I thought it was bipolar. Is what it was. That's what I thought. I thought it was manic, but it was not. And
Wow.
but yeah, but yes, the best thing to do is to ask them to go, but do not expect and put all your energy and hope on that the narcissist is going to go, or there's going to be success.
Yes.
We went, it got to a point where when I was ready to leave and I decided I was leaving, he said, well, go ahead and call and get the counseling. And I told him, no, I've made many calls. We've had many counseling sessions. We have been in counseling for maybe 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
And I said, the only way I'm going to go is you make the appointment. I'll show up, but you make the appointment. We were separated at the time. And I did, I show up, but still there was no change. And eventually the narcissist was challenged. And that's the other thing. When they are challenged, they fall apart because they cannot stand the correction. And
Wow.
um, yeah, yeah, they cannot stand the correction. And so we came out with the narcissist blaming me for the appointment. I'm not the one that's the problem. I'm not crazy. You're the one that had the problem. You were this in your family, or you were that in your family, because they take all of what you have said and twist it around. Thank you so
Wow.
much, Kim, for your congrats. Appreciate that. And
Yes, you have congratulations here. Just
Karen, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
wow, thank you. And thank you, Sandra, so much. I'm telling you, this has just been so awesome today and such a blessing to our audience on today. Thank you so much. Once again, for coming on the show. We do have your contact information in there somewhere in the comments, buried somewhere in there. Can you post how the audience can get in contact with you, Sandra, for me? If you could just send me a message. I got your
Yeah.
assessment test. But if they want to get in contact with you, Cassandra is does narc abuse counseling. So
Yes.
if you know somebody or if you are going through it yourself, she's able to assist you with that. So she will
Yes.
be happy to
I
assist
mean,
you with that.
okay, so I'm going to place this here. And you know what? Because I'm right in the middle of it, I didn't even think. I'm also writing a book.
That's right. You have a book coming out.
I have
Talk
the book
about that.
coming up. I'm saying I'm writing it. The book has been written. It's finished. I'm in the process of just adding the chapters as well as a few other edits, and the book cover is being finalized. So I will, if I can do something for your audience, I'd like to give them a free copy of that. Can I? I'm going to give this to you because all I want them to do is just text their information to this number, and then they can go ahead and yeah, they can go ahead, and I will be happy to
Wow.
put them on my. I have a new page that's being developed as well for them to receive their free copy of the book. It's going to be a free digital copy, and then of course the print copy will follow after that as well.
Wow. So, audience, look at that. You are those in the studio audience today are going to get a free copy of her book on narcissist abuse that's getting ready to be released real short. So, make sure that you get in contact with me, inbox me on Messenger so that I have your email address and so that I can contact you to make sure that you get your copy of that book. So, Sandra, once again, I just want to thank you for being such an amazing, amazing guest. Oh, wow. The audience just loves you. They're saying thank you.
Thank you
Hello,
very much.
Trina. My cousin Trina's
Thank
here. My cousin Pam. Thank you all so much
you.
for joining the show on this afternoon. And I just want to say to my audience, thank you so much today for taking time out of your afternoon to be with me here on Empowerment Essentials. I ask that you pray for us and listen, pass this information on.
Yes,
There's somebody out there that's going through this type of abuse. There's somebody out there that's sitting under a leader that's a narcissist. We need you to share this information because we want people to be healed. We want people to be
yes.
whole, and we want people to be healthy. So until the next time, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, you all have been amazing. I appreciate your engagement, and we will see you on the next time. Bye-bye.